Alright, welcome to my artifacts video. It's been about 3 weeks since artifacts were released, and we're just now figuring out what exactly all the artifacts do. So here's your little haul of artifacts, and if you're having problems finding it, you have to make sure first of all you have the update, and then go to rocket fuel, and you'll click on this rocket base and send out your first rocket. So I'm going to go over each artifact, what it does, why it's important, and what its uses are. So the first thing is the ingredients. Obviously, each ingredient can either go make a stone or a larger ingredient, and those ingredients are used in crafting. All this crafting takes golden eggs, so if after I tell you all this information and you're like, well, that's not worth it to me, probably don't craft it, right? You can consume it, and it'll give you golden eggs or ingredients, depending on what it is. Okay, so I'll go over the stones real quick. So this first stone is the prophecy stone. So as you can see, it says a 0.05% increase to the egg of prophecy bonus. Well, what does that mean? Simple. So you go to your epic research, and at the bottom is the prophecy bonus. This increases bonus per egg of prophecy by 1%. And you're like, well, I don't know, is that good or not? Actually, in order to figure that out, there is a formula that derives your earning bonus, right? So it is your soul eggs multiplied by 100 or multiplied by 10 plus your soul. Your soul food bonus? So that has a total of 150 right here, multiplied by 1.05 plus, you guessed it, the 5% from the prophecy bonus. So in that percentage, that 1.1 or 110%, the prophecy stone adds 5 or 0.005%, which isn't a lot, but it is more effective the more prophecy eggs you have. For example, I'll show you real quick. So let's say I have 145 quintillion soul eggs. If I have 112, if I have 112 prophecy eggs, and I have one single stone, so this is the smallest stone, so 0.5%, it increases it by 5%. Right, that's a 5% increase in your earning bonus, which means you can earn more money, 5% more money in a prestige. Now let's say I have the current max is 171. That's an 8% difference, right? Just in that one stone. So it does get better the more prophecy eggs you get, and the better stones you have, and the more stones you have. The next stone up is the quantum stone. So the quantum stone has a few applications. The number one being if you run out of shipping capacity, this can increase your shipping capacity. Let's say you're in a contract and you want to increase your egg laying rate. Well, equip one of these and increases it by 4%, which is quite substantial. Next one is the Clarity Stone. The Clarity Stone, what it does is, as it says, 25% effective host of an artifact on enlightenment egg farms. So if you go to an enlightenment farm, the egg farm, you'll notice that none of your artifacts can be used. The only one that can be used is this one right here, the Dim Light of Eggendil. That's the only artifact that can be used on the enlightenment farm. However, with this Clarity Stone, you can equip any rare epic, which is the shiny ones, right? Rare, epic, or legendary artifacts with this item, so you can use it on your enlightenment egg farm. It's very good, but if you look, it's very expensive to craft, and only 25%. So it's going to be a while yet before you get enough to make a real difference. The Life Stone. The Life Stone, what it does is increases your internal hatchery rate, which you can see right here. The max is 7,440 chickens per minute per hab. So with that life stone, that increases that value by 2%. and then 4%, and then 8% or 6%, whatever the max is. But it's very useful if you are trying to boost your habitats for a contract farm. If you want more chickens, this is what you use. The Terra Stone, not a lot of uses for it. It increases your running bonus. It's probably best equipped with a vial and then an actuator, which is this right here, which doesn't have very many applications. So you can get creative with it, or you can just consume it. Soul Stone, very similar to the Prophecy Stone, so 5% bonus per soul egg. So if you go, get in this formula, to calculate EB right there, that 150, that's 5%. Okay, so we have 5%. Right? So it makes a bit of a difference, but not a whole lot. So next item is the Exquisite Tachyon Stone. So this is the Tachyon Stone and increases your egg laying rate. Useful for contracts. Also very useful if you are fueling your rockets. Whenever you're fueling your rockets, you want to have a Chalice equipped and a metronome, and then slap on a Tachyon Stone to get you even faster. The next stone is the Lunar Stone. This increases your away earnings, useful in contracts, useful in fueling, but really there's other better stones, so I mean, you can do what you want with it. The Egg Stone. So this stone is better than the Soul Stone and better than the Prophecy Stone at lower tiers and at medium to high Prophecy egg count. So there's a lot of math behind it, but unless you have a tier 4 Soul Stone or Prophecy Stone, you're probably better off using the Shell Stone. Alright, so now we're going to get into the artifacts. So this is the Puzzle Cube. Puzzle Cube is incredibly good if you're on a contract farm, because then you can buy more research, right? The tier 4 legendary cube cuts the cost down by 70%, right? So you only has to have basically a third of the earning bonus to reach higher. So it helps on contracts, helps with trophies. It's just very good. It's a really good artifact. Whenever you're first starting the farm, or you can just equip it if you have enough money after boosting. You can equip it and put it on. The Lunar Totem. This thing is hot garbage. This thing's just awful. 500%. If you do the math, if you have it on all night, 8 hours, that's about 2 to 3 minutes of running chickens. That's it. So again, hot garbage. Next one, probably the best artifact you can get at lower levels, the Necklace. So this is the first tier 4 I got, and it increases your egg value by 100%, so that doubles your earnings, which leads to 16% more soul eggs per prestige, which is that's a lot. That's a lot. So it's very good. I highly recommend it if you're doing a contract, because again, that just doubles your earnings, and also if you're doing prestige runs or just anything, this is a very, very good artifact. Next artifact is the Martian Dust. The Martian Dust is good for contracts, and if you don't have the Monocle unlocked, or if your Monocle is only tier 1, then Martian Dust might be better for you in certain circumstances. But again, it's good for contracts because it increases your earnings while you first start the contract and you're trying to get as many upgrades as you can before you boost, get as much hab space as you can. So this is the Bruche. This is very useful today, right? We see today is 4 times drone rewards day. So I'll show you what I used to farm drones today, but it's very good. So what it does is 100% increase in drone rewards, which means that if you normally get 24 golden eggs from a drone, you get 48, which is spectacular. Next to the Ankh, this is the tier 4. It's not as good as the Necklace in my opinion because it takes so much longer to get. Right, if you click on it, it takes four solid gold meteorites to get, Whereas if you look at the necklace only takes 1. It is so much easier to get, which is why I just got this brilliant tungsten Ankh, the tier 4 Ankh. But the Ankh, just like the necklace, is good for contracts. It's good for prestige runs. It's good for everything. The Gusset. So the Gusset increases your hab capacity. There's 2 main uses for that. The first of which being contracts, because on a contract you want to get as high egg laying bonus as you can. Right? The more eggs you get, the faster you beat the contract, the more you can show off to your friends. Or if you're have bad co-op mates, you can actually complete it and have hope of completing it. So, but I'll go over the contract artifacts in just a minute. The next is the medallion. So the medallion is really good for drone farming. So what it does is it doubles the frequency that drones appear, which are it's incredible. Like, it's just amazing, right? So a drone will appear anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds. Every 20 to 30 seconds, you're likely to see a drone. So it'll cut down to every 15 to 20 seconds, you'll see a drone. Okay, next artifact is the lens. So these lens are not very good unless you're trying to reach that next egg, because it'll increase your farm valuation by 20%. But that is the only benefit to it. The only thing it does well. Other than that, you use it to craft higher tier artifacts that are better than it, frankly. So that's really the only use for it, is to craft better stuff. So this is the beak, right? So everybody's favorite thing, the beak. So what this does is 100% chance of gold and gifts and drones. This is incredibly misleading. It does not mean that you will always see gold and gifts and drones. What it means is that there's about 80% chance you'll see gold and gifts, drones. Tier 4 is where it is an always chance. The math behind it is kind of ridiculous, and I don't know why they would word it like this. It's just confusing. But yeah, this is useful if you are farming. Golden eggs, like I said, I'll show you what I did today. The next thing is the ornate stick, the rain stick. The rain stick is not as good, in my opinion, as the beak, because usually there's no reason you'll be choked for cash unless you accidentally lock your habitats out. In that case, like, maybe you'll be hunting cash drones with it. That's really the only thing. So the compass has one purpose. It's just like the tachyon stone, or the quantum stone, excuse me. The only reason for it is to increase your shipping rate if you have if you've run out of shipping capacity. This will happen during contracts if you reach very, very, very high egg laying rates. But yeah, that's really the only use for it. The chalice. The chalice is one of the best things for artifacts, and it is also one of the best items if you are boosting to try to fuel rockets. The chalice is very good. It increased 20% increase to internal hatchery rate, so it takes the 7,440 and it takes it to about 9,000, which is incredible, right? That's the difference of the 18 token strategy, which is 1,000 times tachyon boost for 10 minutes. The 10-minute boost nets you about 8,900 or 8,900,000,000 chickens. So with this activated, it's 20% more. That's like 11.2 billion chickens, which is a lot of chickens. The feather. The feather is 400% soul egg collection rate. So if you know math, you know that's 5 times soul egg collection rate, right? So that means, oh yeah, you make 5 times more soul eggs wrong. You'd be wrong. So this is this is the most misleading artifact. It's right after the soul egg beacon that says you collect 500 times more soul eggs. That's not true. So what this means is it generates phantom cash, and you gain soul eggs off of that cash based off a certain rate, right? So this is 5 times the soul egg collection rate, so you'd have 5 times the phantom cash. So you wouldn't be earning 5 times the soul eggs, but you get the soul eggs from 5 times the cash. And the math is 5 to the power of 0.21 is how you figure out how much more it is, it's about 30% more, which is still a substantial amount. I mean, obviously it's not 5 times the soul eggs, but it's 30% is 30%, and it's pretty good. So this is one of the best artifacts in the game. The metronome. So the metronome, similar to the compass, one of the main reasons for it is for contracts, and then also for fueling rockets. So you'll fuel a rocket 14% faster. All right, so these extended Henerprises that I'm fueling take about 6 hours to fuel, so that'll cut the time down to 5 hours. So it's pretty dang good. And also, obviously, in contracts, 14% egg laying rate, that's a lot of eggs. The monocle. So the monocle is an increase to your boost, which is a little misleading. So the boost, right, is, everybody knows the boost. Boost is this right here. This one right there. That's the boost. The boost beacon. So what it does is it adds 14% to that. So 50 times 14%, that's the increase. And the only thing it doesn't affect is the boost. It affects the cash generation, so your bird seed. It affects your soul beacon. It affects your tachyon. So those are 3 items that it affects. So you take that point, whatever it is, the 14%, you can over triple it to find out about how much more earnings you'll get. Probably closer to 3.5 because of the nature of the rate of change of chickens and money. As you get, because you're producing more chickens, you get more money for those chickens, right? So it's a rate of change function, right? So it's close to about 55%, 56% from a tier 3. So that's why it's pretty good. This actuator, very, very similar to the lunar totem, and it is hot garbage. This is slightly above hot garbage. It's like lukewarm garbage, but it's still garbage nonetheless. There's no reason to equip this unless you're struggling to max your running bonus. The rest of this is for lower tier farmers, people that are still on these eggs down here and aren't on a universe yet. That might be useful to you, but to anyone that's on the universe farm, I'm sorry. Don't throw them all away because they are useful for crafting. And also, if you consume it, look at that. It gives you tachyon stones. That's pretty good. So the next item is the ship in a bottle. The ship in the bottle increases your co-op teammates' earnings. And this is not compound. This is additive. So if you have 4 people with this 20%, everyone else would get an 80% bonus. Anyone that has it equipped would only get a 60% bonus. But it's still pretty good because, I mean, it's good in a co-op, right? You get more money, way more chickens, finish a contract faster, finish it more consistently. The same with the Tachyon Deflector. Does the same thing. 5% increase to co-op teammates' egg laying rates. So you finish the co-op faster, you finish it more consistently. So the Book of Basan suffers from the same thing as the Prophecy Stone, in that I'll go back to this. Let's zero this out. Okay, so the Book of Basan, right? So I have my earning bonus right there. So with the Book of Basan, let's say I have tier 1, which is the 0.5%. Right, that's a 47% increase in earnings. Right, so that's better than. It's not better than the necklace. It's not better than the Ankh. It's not better than the feather, right? And it's still not better than the monocle. However, as we get higher with it, we see that's pretty good. 117, that's better than the monocle. Tier 3, 200%, right? It almost tripled. It tripled my earnings. And if you have the tier 4, right, almost it over quadruples. And what about that tier 4 legendary? That's a lot. That's over 6.5 times as much. Almost 6.5 times as much. So, right, this Book of Basan is very, very good. However, the stipulation is that it's not good at lower levels, and it's not good if you don't have that many prophecy eggs. All right, so let's say I only had 100. That's still pretty good. That's a triple. That just tripled my earnings, right? But let's say I only had a tier 2. 57%. That's still not better than the monocle, right? Definitely not better than the feather. It's not better than the Ankh. It's not better than the necklace. So the tier 4 Book of Basan is useful, but not quite. So just hold on to it. It'll get better. Last artifact, the Light of Egg and Dill. So this is useful for the Enlightenment Egg. So if you've ever clicked on the Enlightenment Egg and you look at the value, it says 0.00. It's not actually 0, but it's like 0.00000001. I think it's like 1 to the power of -18 or -9. It's something ridiculous. It's very close to 0. So unless your earning bonus is about 1,000 times higher than that, you have no hope of ever completing it. Not 1,000, probably about 10,000. It's 10,000. So yeah, it's very sad. But with this, every single time you upgrade it, it gets better and better and better. Right? This is 50%, so that cuts down that. So it's right now it's about 2 non-nillion earning bonus without artifacts. With this, that cuts that down to 1.3 in, and the next one is 100%. And then it goes to like 10,000%. So it gets better and better and better. So right now, no one can really do Enlightenment legitimately. So even if you see somebody that has the trophy, right, have all the trophies. I didn't do it legitimately though. So this will make it more to do it more legitimately, and then obviously the Clarity Stone will help you finish too. All right, so I'll just walk you through now. Some different sets for artifacts. So this first set is for prestige runs. Okay, so this is if you're doing a run. If you don't know what a prestige run is, I have several videos up showing double prestiges and triple prestiges, different earning bonuses and different ways to do them, so you can kind of get a feel for them and how to do them. So these are the 4 best artifacts right now. Most people have access to. So the feather, the necklace, the Ankh, and the monocle. These will increase your earnings by probably about 6 times, which increases your soul egg collection rate by about 42%. So that is very, very good. Obviously, it's not as good as the Saturday event of double soul eggs, but it's still very good. Okay, so let's deactivate these. I'm going to show you what I do for contracts. Okay, so for contracts, this is for when I'm boosting. So I want to, or this is not for when I'm boosting, this is when I'm building up my farm. So again, best items, right? That Ankh, that necklace. It's all about that necklace. Then you want to have puzzle cube. And the last item is up to you, but I would recommend the Martian dust. Okay, so this is for starting out on a fresh new contract. You're upgrading stuff and you're just building stuff, and then I would swap out the Martian dust at one point after you've kind of slowed down upgrading, and then move on to the Chalice. So this will increase your earnings over time. All right, and then once you reach a point to where you can upgrade, this is where it becomes very important. Right, this is very important. So what I do, you want to increase, the first thing you want to do is have something. So I'm just going to get rid of all these. This is right before a boost. Right before a boost, I make sure I have enough hab space. And the first thing you want to do to increase that hab space, you want to put on a gusset. So it went to 1134 to 13 billion chickens. Okay, and then you want to have a monocle. So that'll increase how many chickens I get by 14%. Really good. And then you notice right here I have the 2 dilithium stones. So each dilithium stone will increase the boost duration by 3%. So if you have a 10-minute boost and you have 4 dilithium stones, which I do, that's what I have as 4, it increases it by 1 minute and 15 seconds, which is very good. And what's even better, right? What's even better about this is that you can activate if you start the boost, right? So if you look, and you start the boost 11 minutes 15 seconds. If you started it, you still keep that time. So you still keep that minute 15 seconds. You can put on what other artifacts you want. So after I start the boost, deactivate. They're on the Chalice. You have the Monocle, the Gusset, and the last one you can put on whatever you want. But just make sure that it has, where is it? These right here, the life stones equipped. So these life stones, like I said, will increase your internal hatchery rate. So more chickens, better chickens, right? Get the most out of your chickens. So after you do that, you want to equip an artifact that has those life stones in it after you start the boost. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what I do when I have a, like today was a drone, was the epic drones. So you want to have your Bruce equipped. You want to have your medallion equipped. You want to make sure you have this this beak equipped. And the last item, this is the secret. This is what they won't tell you. Right, this is what they won't tell you. It's not useful if you're getting for golden eggs. I will say that. But for shooting for money, right? You don't think about it, but the money you get from a drone is based on the value of your farm and the running bonus, right? So you can either do the winds or you can do the Martian dust. But right here, right? So drone, come here, right? So at half a drone, 192 golden eggs, right? That's per drone. Well, that was a fluke. You weren't supposed to see that. You weren't supposed to see it collect cash. That's disappointing. Wow, that's here's another one, right? Oh, just snipe them. Ooh. Oh, and of course it gets cash. Never lucky. Right, so that's what you use if you're farming drones. And you could just have it sitting out idly next to you while you work, while you're watching TV. You see something on the screen, you just blindly tap to try to get it, or you swipe just all over the phone trying to get in it. So yeah, that's just a basic walkthrough of artifacts, what they do, when they're useful. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I'm going to leave several sources that you will find useful, including the Discord, and then several applications to help you get more chickens, better chickens, and everything. Thanks for watching.